Alright, hey guys, it's JannLee here. We're here for another edition of the old combo cage. I've got my buddy Chickencrossroad opposite me, so we're going to play some 3-minute Crazyhouse. So yeah, it's been a long work week. So good to just chill out at night and have a bit of a go at Crazyhouse. Haven't got to play much this week at all. Okay, so yeah, this is a new kind of opening, this D5 sack. I haven't yet figured it out entirely. The idea is that black is trying to open up lines quickly and play against F3. There are often some tricks like bishop C5, bishop D4, you know, knight at F3. There's like a fork on the queen here. So this is very much the plan, and I'm still working out what's the right way for white to play. It's a very sharp position. Black also needs to be cautious of what's going on here. So, you know, if black's too focused on hitting the queen, there can be consequences. Alright, we'll see where this goes. So I'm looking at something like knight at e5 or knight d4. Knight at h4 is played. And here we've got a very sharp position. We need to decide very carefully how to proceed. I'm looking at knight f6 as an option here. And there's two options, queen f6 or gf. gf allows knight at g7. So yeah, let's have a think about this. If he takes with the queen, I can capture. He captures the rook. And I need to figure out if he's got enough to mate me. You know, instinctively I think it's right to take this, and then we'll figure it out from there. So bishop f7 is a move as well. Yeah, without looking too deep, bishop f7 seems right. So I can capture the queen with check. But then, is it really that fruitful? So my queen's under attack. The alternatives are something like queen d3, bishop g5 maybe. Yeah, can't say I'm loving my position here just yet. Queen at d5 might be a move because it covers off either d7 or d6. If a pawn at d7, knight at e6, but if a pawn at d6, I get pawn at e7. Yeah, but I can't really do anything. If pawn at d6, pawn e7, the king comes here. It's hard to hit this king. So yeah, still not satisfied with my position unless I can find something. I've got a few pieces in hand. So we've got Vin 2020 joining the channel. Welcome Vin. Good to see you. Yeah, maybe I even have to do something crazy and sack the queen somewhere. Oh, I see. So yeah, maybe I have knight at e6, bishop e6, pawn e7. That's probably the best continuation. And then if king takes, I have queen takes. So I think his king will have to go to d7 or c8, probably c8. But then I have new options, new checks. It's either bishop takes, queen takes. So I'm feeling much more positive about the position now. Queen takes allows the promotion, supports this. Maybe bishop takes is just winning. So rook g8 is very dangerous as well. I need to be careful I haven't blown it here. Yeah, I've got mate here, I just got to make sure I don't run out of time. Yeah, surprised myself that I had a lucky resource with queen at d5. Game is already very sharp first time round. So, okay, e4. Let's go with a perk setup. Vin20 asks, when does the second turn of the championship start? I believe that this week ending Sunday, we're figuring out what times we're playing at, and then come next week from Monday to Sunday, so that's from I think Monday the 6th to Sunday the 12th, the games will actually be taking place. I think the organiser has allowed the players to organise for 1 week and also allow people to make their predictions for the prediction tournament, which I think is a nice idea. So that all has to play out first this week. Okay, knight h6, bit of a funny looking move, but yeah, that's okay. Well, we've got some weaknesses here. I now need to play against this. Yeah, Belle, what's up? Okay, my daughter's just looking for her toy trolley. So my match, my match will actually take place on the last day of that week. That'll be Sunday the 12th. I'll be up against Svenos, Svenos. So looking forward to the match. Okay. Right, I'm trying to look for a way to undermine h6 here effectively. So pawn at e3 is an idea, but I think that just helps white, even if I capture this. I mean, white will get a strong center, this rook will be open. So that's not really helping me. And he's only got a bishop in hand. So, yeah, there's a few options. I can sacrifice the knight here. That's also not so bad, but then I'm just a piece down. And then there's a move like bishop at f6, which attacks this. Or even bishop at 8, bishop at h8. I think I'll go for bishop at h8. And it's very passive looking. I'm expecting d5, maybe knight e5. But it's good coverage for these dark squares. This is where it's needed. Maybe pawn at g7 income. Hey Belle, do you want to look in the camera? This is my daughter, everyone. This is Bella. She should be asleep by now, but she's getting spoilt on a Friday night. You want to say hi? Careful, just don't break the cord. That's all. You alright? Okay. That's your bag. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. I think it's time for bed. Hey, can you see yourself in the channel? No. You can't put your feet on the wire or else you'll break it. Okay. You say hi. You gotta talk into here. Say hi. Hi. All right. Yeah. Yes, to that camera. You gotta say hi. Okay. Alright. You're making me look like a bad parent. I think you need to go to sleep. Hey? Hey? You make daddy look bad. How about sleep? No? Uh, so I'm looking at pawn at f4 or knight at f4 here. Yeah, I'm gonna play knight at f4, I think. The main purpose is really just to block this off so the knight can capture, or at least threaten. But this knight also has some value covering e6. He might capture f7, and I'm now short on time, so I've just got to move, really. Okay, it's getting interesting now. So knight at f7 is playable. Oh, bless you. You need tissue? No? You don't need tissue? Alright. Yeah, I don't really like this. I should have taken h6. That was the right move. Yeah, but we don't really want. No, we're not hearing everyone. Pawn mates me here, but he can't actually take one. Oh, he can take here. I think knight at f6 looks like it's going to mate. Oh, I think that's a mate missed. Hang on, Bill. Yeah, I know we can't hear them, but they can hear us. So king g2, knight h4. Hang on, Bill. Yeah. Yeah, hang on. Can you just not wriggle in the last 10 seconds? That would be really good. Oh, I had to win that one on time. Alright, I think it's time to go to mummy. Get to bed. Yeah, alright, I'll give you your toys. Hold on a second. Alright. He goes, you're carrying too many things. Alright. Yeah, no, I think chickencrossroad missed a mate there. There was knight at f6, and I had to play bishop takes or e takes. And then the knight could recapture, and then the diagonal would go on f7, and then king h8 was forced, rook takes f8, and then blocker on g8, rook takes g8 mate. Vin says she will learn to play Crazyhouse soon. Well, we'll see about that. Alright, I thought this line was interesting last game, so I'm going to willingly enter it. We'll play into it a little bit quicker. Maybe Chicken will find an improvement. Yeah, I think it will be an interesting game for the viewers, keeping it sharp at the least. Okay. Oh, let's try playing without a toddler around. So, I think knight f3 is required. It's really hard with bishop takes and queen takes because another knight comes in hand. So, yeah, there's some checks now. Black sacrificed a bit of material. So I'm expecting knight takes e4 here. And I have a few choices with the king. I wouldn't want to go to e1, but there's f1, e2, e3. And again, yeah, if I go king e3, knight check, there's going to be trouble because he's going to get a queen in hand. King e2 is probably the sensible option, but then there will also be knight at c3 checks. I don't like king f1 because he takes here. You know what? Let's go make it interesting with king e3. Black's already sacrificed the bishop here. And at this level of game, I'm nearly basically saying I'm going to try to take all the pieces with the king, and it's going to look really dangerous, but you're going to have to checkmate me with what you've got. So, you know, I'm putting the king on a square that's already defended by 2 pieces. It can't be checked by pawns so easily. Even if he sacks the queen on the knight, this bishop will defend the king. So this is a concept where if your king's on a square that's defended, you can retreat from that, and then the square that was checked, say from a knight here, will be defended against a queen drop on e3. So yeah, it all looks risky and dicey here, but you know, white's got 3 minor pieces for queen. There's an aggressive piece here. There's ways in. So if black can't prove that he can checkmate white from here, I think white will have a residual advantage. So risky play, practical play, but yeah. Now I can play safe and back off a little bit, or I can be even more gutsy and just take everything. And from the work week I've had, yeah, I'm just in the mood to take everything. So I'll put my king on the 4th rank. So queen at g4 check, the king can come back to e3. Queen at e2, nice move. So queen at e2 is really just to block off some of the squares. It's starting to ask some serious questions. So this gets very sharp now. Pawn at e5, pawn at g5, they're the threats. Rook e1 is not really a resource for me. Knight at f6 check, and so I'm looking at pawn at e7, but pawn at e5 is going to be very dangerous. Maybe I need to use the bishop. Yeah, I'm in some trouble here. Or maybe even bishop e3 is correct. Yeah. I'm giving myself a square run here, but no, I've given myself very little time as well. Okay. Queen g4 is gonna make me. So that's a shame. I don't feel I played it entirely well. After the king's on e3 and pawn at f4, there might be better paths. I'll accept that. I had a king in a dangerous position, and it's tough to play. So got outplayed in the middle game there. Okay. So another aggressive opening from white. The idea here is that the queen can't take because of knight at c2. Now as white, I don't mind giving the pawn back here. I just want to secure the f5 square, actually. So, pawn at e7 check, playable, but the key is that this knight covers d5, this bishop covers f5. So the knight that white holds is really the attacking piece. Now there'll be other resources like say queen at e5 potentially. There's things to look out for, but you know I'm willing to play into this. So that may not be the real threat. The real threat may be something like bishop at c5 or bishop at d6. I don't actually have a forced mate on the king that I can see. So bishop at c6 or bishop at d5 is what I'm looking at. but it may in fact require the queen. So I think it's critical here, the difference between bishop at d5 and bishop at c6. If something's going to land on d6 eventually, having the bishop covering b5 might be critical. My trouble is with a king on d6, bishop f4, looks like white has too much resource. So I can't just ignore this. Alright, we'll go for queen at c6 then. This is really a defensive move, but it does open up some opportunities on g2. Whether or not they actually lead to mate is another question. But there's some tricks with knight at e2, king h1, queen g2, king takes, bishop at h3, forcing the king out to f3, then you've got bishop g4, king e3. So knight at d4 is a sensible move, it prevents knight at e2. So I'll play something a little bit bullish here. This, I don't know if this is great play. This is probably more desperation. So I could take with the queen, but knight at d5 is played then. Happy to pick up this rook. The rook's a good defender as well. So yeah, now rook e1 is actually a mate threat, possibly. I'm not sure if it's enough. King takes knight at f3, but I also have to make sure I don't get mated at home myself. I'm hanging on some pretty thin defense here. Okay, let's go for this. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting what I want out of this. Alright, time scramble. It's all on time now. Yeah, it's a pretty horrible way to take the game, but yeah, I just kept a little bit of initiative on g2. I got outplayed in the middle game. Thought I might be better, but you proved me wrong. Okay, we've got a different opening this time around. We've got an early d5 trading here. Okay, I'm trading my queen early a few times, but I don't mind these positions. I think white gets good development here. I'm expecting takes and then rook e1, so I've got a lot of central pieces. I've got attack potential on the file. And the threat of this pawn is actually quite distant because the bishop covers the back, the knight covers the back, the rook's still here covering the back rank. So I feel like white gets some initiative going here. There's potential for pawn at d5. The pin opens things. So it's good and practical as far as I can see. So queen at d8 is covering up. So bishop d2, it's basically just renewing the threat. Okay, knight f2 potentially coming in. I mean, I can defend against this, or I can choose to start an attack going with knight c6. So I actually like queen at g3 here. It's a bit more measured. But basically, it takes away a move like pawn at d7 because that would block the bishop. So I'm really now asking black, what are you going to do about this knight on c6? If bishop d7, it also creates an opportunity like pawn at e6. So I'm really playing against this knight. I'm saying I'm defending this pawn, I'm attacking the knight. I'm attacking this. What are you going to do about all this? Sure, I'm a pawn down at the moment, but every piece is active. Black's behind in development. I'll just come back in a sec. This air conditioning is a bit too cold for my liking. For those who've just joined, the scoreline I think started with me at 76 and Chicken Crossroad at 60, so I'll post that so that those that want to keep score can. Okay, so a6 played. So this is how he's trying to address the issue of this pin. Not sure it does much because knight c6 is pretty damaging. It's hitting the queen. So if he takes, then takes, and then this pin is on. Yeah, so he's given that up. So I think that's interesting here. That early queen trade decentralizing the king. Sure, white can't castle, but the pieces fall into practical positions. Alright, we've got 35 viewers joining us on Twitch, so hello to everyone. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you are. Good to have you. Okay, why are we getting in trouble getting pinned here? Maybe we'll go bishop b4 check first. I'm kind of trying to encourage a weakness here on c2. And if not, and he plays knight c3, then I can castle. And that way my king's no longer pinned. Or rather, my knight's no longer pinned to the king. So from here, I think I like. I'm going to try to find some aggression quickly. I'll leave this knight undefended temporarily because I'm hitting the queen. And then, depending on circumstances, it might be beneficial to trade this knight off or bring it into f6 as options. I'll go aggressively, get another piece in hand. And basically White's going to get to play f3, and if he does, then he's securing a lot of the safety around the king. I want to hit f4. So if f3, you can take, knight at d4. Just try to keep something burning. I've got to play actively. In taking e5, I think White gets a slight benefit in that this pawn is forwarded. So if I can't make something of the pieces here, if I can't make this bishop look silly quickly, I think White has a slight residual advantage in this position with this pawn. So yeah, if you haven't heard about it yet, there's currently a Crazyhouse World Championship happening on leechess.org. The organizer is Fishy Vishy. He's put up $460 of his own money in all sorts of different prizes, including a prediction prize. So we've basically started with 76 players. We've had a round of had a qualifier round, I should say, followed by a round of 64, and the first knockout round has progressed to the round of 32. Okay, this is interesting. So he's just letting me have the queen here. I think I've got to grab this queen, or else I'm not really standing for anything. Okay, so there's now mate threats on my king. I don't see a way to deliver mate. So I'm going to have to grab this, and I'm going to have some checks that follow. Pawn at g7, knight f5, and then I can either back off king or bring it forward. In this case, I think it's more sensible to bring the king back. And then this will probably fall, and then I'll have the queen and he'll have the pieces, and then we have to see how the game progresses from there. The question is if I really need to be forceful and go here. Threaten to win the game by taking all the pieces. So if I back off, pawn at e7 is also something to be respected. I'm taking too much time. I am going to gamble. I'm going to go up. I didn't see enough resource to threaten mate, and this knight is actually covering h4, which is a key attacking square. I'm kind of foreseeing bishop at g4. Oh, that hasn't been played. Gutsy, and I'll keep the king forward. Yeah, we'll go this way. I can't afford to take that one. I'm running short of time. Maybe I'm a little bit too optimistic there. I think Chicken took a safe path there, which was wise. He just chose to stay solid, trade off the knight on h4, and that was always going to be beneficial to him. Okay, so we've got sort of French without d4 played here. Don't mind this, I get to develop the bishop, and black's players to play rook e8. So bishop b2 just to block off the file. Nearly inclined to play knight f7 if rook e8 is played. It may not be ideal. Okay, so but he's played queen e7, not allowing that option. So I played bishop at g3. I'm reserving a pawn for g5 to hit this knight, maybe put some pressure on d5. That's what it's defending. He's got a few attackers on e5 now. This queen is tied to this piece, so I'm not going to take g2. At least not yet. And yeah, it's a tricky decision if black should decide to play the swaps or not, because white's got a fair amount of defense back here. And if the bishop was to come in on e5, then there would be some mate threats with knight at h6 or knight at e7. So okay, another knight brought in. So here's where the important moves really count. So I think it's sensible just playing knight c6 and recapturing g2. Just try to consolidate the weakness. The big weakness for me right here is f3. That's what he's going to be looking at. And just removing this pawn on g2, prevents any weaknesses on f1 as well. Later on, this battery may also be useful for attacking. But I've got two pieces defending f3, so if he tries knight at e5, I can always just block with either bishop e3 or pawn at e3. Okay, but he's not allowing it that easily. He's going to make me give up the queen, I think. How do I want to proceed here? Yeah, I actually like queen e4. So knight at f3, king f1, knight g1, king g1. Is rook at e1 dangerous? Either bishop f3 or queen f3. Bishop f3, or else I get mated. So I think black should be happy here. Black's very dangerous. There's bishop h3, there's queen at d1. There's a lot for white to be concerned about. Let's foresee queen g5. Oh wow, that's a nice move. Nasty move, that one. Very hard to defend against. Yeah, it's beautiful. Just found a way to grab a pawn with check. No, I'm getting outplayed in a few of these middle games. This is really nice play from Chicken Crossroad. Okay, I don't mind this opening position, but I feel like I should get something better. Yeah, maybe we can convert better by leaving this queen on d2, taking on e5. Then there's a knight at f3 trick here, so I can afford to play something like knight at h3. If he takes with the pawn, knight h3, king h1, knight f4. Or maybe knight e4 first. I think there's just a value in this knight at f3 trick, making use of that tempo. Because I get to attack this bishop with tempo. Now I hit the queen. So if the queen comes to e2, I get to capture the bishop. Well, even, I don't know if f2 is something more worthwhile to go for. It's like a sneaky move like bishop g4. But then I think you can just take this. Yeah, it's worth a bit of a think here. Yeah, let's keep it simple. Knight f4, knight at d4. It's pretty solid. I get this fork. And then if the queen ends up on b5, there's bishop at c4. I'm inclined to think white's going to feel like leaving the queen here and just allowing the capture, and then creating some safety. So yeah, I'm probably happier in this opening. So okay, I think I'm leaving myself too short on time at the end here. So I'm probably talking a little bit too much about some of the ideas and not actually executing. We got 42 viewers, fairly quiet crowd. Looks like Aloe Extract is keeping the score, so 4-3. Bakuz has asked, is this part of the Crazyhouse Championship? No, it is not. This is not a Crazyhouse Championship match. This is just a match between a couple of guys. So I'm not going to capture the queen immediately because this knight was defending f6 and that would allow bishop at f6. I'm actually just trying to prevent an attack from brewing too quickly. Maybe d4 is more appropriate. I have to say, I like this bishop attacking g2, but it allowed queen g4. So okay, he's sacked his queen now, so here comes the attack. So if I take this, takes, bishop at e5. I think queen at g4 is in order, or queen at g6 perhaps. No, queen at g4. I'm expecting knight at e3. And now there's something a bit sharp. So this queen defends this. My idea is knight g4, queen f6, sack, and then I'm figuring there'll be a mate with bishop g2 to follow if he recaptures my queen with either piece. So it's a bit of a double queen sack here. Or maybe bishop g2 first was more appropriate. Alright, black should be better here. I like the way I played there. There was some nice finesse with queen at g4 and queen takes f6, offering the double queen sacrifice. Okay, d4. So let's try this fianchetto system. There's certainly a wider range of openings these days than there used to be. You know, this was never really a bad opening. It was just not played that often. So my play here is against the knight on e4, threatening knight g6 now. I have two attackers on this piece and there's two defenders. And knight played to d2 instead of c3, so I don't have a weakness that remains. Yeah, I think bishop c3 is interesting. So because of this setup, white already has quite a lot of strength on the dark squares. So I'm more keen to support further ahead on e5. So I should do what I say and then put a knight there. Because I feel if black gets e5 in, then he's starting to make progress. Okay, this knight doesn't look like my most useful piece. I want to play this. And so this is a completely new position to me. Didn't really see this one coming. Yeah, I'm not seeing any direct tactics. So it's a bit of bad miss from me, just not seeing g5. It's pretty basic. So black slightly better here. My idea is to kick the queen away and play pawn at e5. If not to recover the piece, then at least to try to obtain some compensation. Now black is up a piece, and if black is allowed to play all his knights and the bishop on the board, I think black will stand better. So he's actually decided to part with this bishop. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna try to play creatively here. This is not the first move I'd consider just because of the weaknesses on h3, but this is something purely instinctive. I sense I need to keep this pawn on e5 and try to pressure f6. I think my plan here is to try to open up this f file. So the immediate problem with playing f3 is bishop at e3 will fork the king and knight. So a move like knight at e3 might be in order. Okay, we'll take this pawn here. This is now hanging. So the position's a little awkward here, but I feel like I'm getting what I want. Okay, play accurately. Yeah, knight at h6 is my next play. Grab the queen. Yeah, he ran out of time, but he was running out of pieces as well. I think he tried to commit into h3, and the attack wasn't quite there. It was just missing a little bit. Okay, we're up against this aggressive line again. Is there a more interesting play here? Let's go for this. Now we played into this line before, and then there's pawn at e7 and e5. So I didn't like what I got before. After e5 was queen at c6. I'm gonna be more gutsy if he goes the same path. Okay, knight d5 threatened. So bishop at c6 is natural, so it defends d5. It also prevents e5 now, because if e5, knight at h3 is a false mate. So yeah, I feel like black's up a couple pawns here with a bit of a dicey king, but if black can hold out, black will stand better. Bishop f4. So important here just to consolidate d6, preventing moves like bishop at d6 or bishop at c5. Now this pin coming in, so knight at d5, that threat is renewed. Now pawn at e6 doesn't quite work with defense here. You could take the knight, sacrifice a knight on f5, it would remove this pawn, then knight at d5 is giving me grief. So from here, I'm more inclined to defend e7 somehow. So I can bring the king to d8, but the problem is he has a resource, bishop d6. Chewing up a lot of time here. Alright, I'm gonna need to fight the bullet somewhere. Maybe it's queen at e6. This is really just to defend e7, because I can't hold this knight out from d5. I need a defender on d6, because bishop d6 is going to be dangerous. From here I'm just shot on time, really. And if I'm lucky, I'll get a chance to counterattack on his light squares. So it would be a mistake to catch. He has to play king h1. This is force. And then after that, I probably have to take here. I have to be careful of knight at b5. Nice. Yeah, that makes things very difficult for me now. Yeah, I mean, chicken's exploiting the king on e7. I'm not finding an easy defense to that. I feel that I should be a little bit better, but he's not allowing me to bring safety to the king. Okay, advanced French. I'm sensing some kind of trick here with pawn at c2 and then a discovered trick. I'm not too concerned about it. If he does that, I'll just play knight d4, knight c2. I'll pick up the knight and rook for the queen. So black really has some weaknesses on the dark squares. So I'm going to temporarily disregard this pawn on b2 just to try to get knight b5, knight at c7. He's not too concerned about that, it seems. Get knight b5 in. So takes knight at c7 first, that's critical. Give this knight some defense. After king d8, then bishop f3. And then this knight also defends d4 from the double attack here. And then we try to just roll through the king on the dark squares. So here the immediate issue is knight at h3 mate. I don't really have anything forceful enough on his king. Rook at a8 may be good at some stage. We'll get it in now maybe. But I also have to be mindful of keeping pieces to defend. Yeah, let's go queen g3. Okay, I'm feeling a rook at a8 here to expend piece of blacks. Pawn at e2 is a nice move. This is causing me some troubles. This is a brilliant move, pawn at e2. I really like. It's distracting the bishop from h3. Very difficult to defend against. So I don't know if I'm just hoping for something with queen f7. I don't think it's there. Oh, he's gone this way. No, I thought taking the queen would be much stronger. Yeah, even rook g1 or rook at h1 now is causing me a lot of problems. Oh dear, no, this is all bad for me. He'll find mate in time. Yeah, I tried something at the end, but I don't know if I missed mate. I didn't have quite enough. Alright, so I think we're at maybe I'm up 6-5 now. So this is a pretty tight match. If there's any area I need an improvement on, it's the time control. In fact, maybe king d8's not right here. queen at d5 is just going to pick up the knight cold. So my only play here is after queen takes bishop at d3. At least there's some play. Alright. And bishop d7 also allows the king to escape. So I have to play for f1. Now knight at f1 is threatened, covers the important squares. You can re-promote to another knight. That can be very dangerous. Meanwhile, my king is actually relatively safe on c8. Okay, let's go for this. I think white's mated here, unless I'm mistaken. King g1. The key is I have to get this to a point where I can double check or that's not attacked. Or maybe I've blown it a little bit. I thought I saw better. So no, there is no mate immediately here. But knight g3 is not giving me all that I want. Alright, well, I'll delay it then. So I'm seeing here maybe bishop at e1, knight d2, bishop takes, rook takes a1. Oh no, it's going to go for me. So I can take this knight with check. That looks very dangerous. Because there's queen at f8, but I'm not immediately threatened. If he takes, yeah, there's this neat knight f3. I might be able to mate him with 3 knights. Oh, he's got king h1. A shame. I've just got to check if I'm getting mated at home. Even if knight g3 is fruitful. No, knight e7 is more sensible. It just threatens pawn at g2. So I need to open up the back rank to make double check threats, which lead to mate. Sidestep this one. Now I actually need to cover g2, so this is important. Then I'll have mate now with 2 pawns here. So yeah, pretty happy with how I played that one. Nice sharp game. Chicken's going to take a quick break. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water as well. I'll be back shortly. Alright, I'm back. Samuel Haupt has just joined us. Says hi everyone. G'day Samuel. Fairly calm and quiet channel tonight. Anyone got any questions? Happy to take a few questions. Okay. Let's play with a bit more pace. I think that's going to help. So normally in chess you wouldn't want to just drop this pawn on d4, but here if takes, after queen takes, knight at c7 will be mate because this bishop is covering. So I am defending this through a bit of a mate trap. Now he's played this, I want to retain some of the tricks in the position. I think pawn at c5 in this case, I want to remove the queen off this defender. So knight b5, threatening here. Rook b1. So now I've defended this knight. I'd like to get another knight placed on c7. And so sure, I'm down a couple of pawns here, but I'm playing for some compensation. From here, white's role is to try to prove there's sufficient compensation, and black to try to hold out, defend, and make the extra pawns worthwhile. Samuel Haupt has a question. He says, one question since you... Oops, sorry. I'm making a bit of bad headphone noise. Samuel Haupt says, one question since you requested it. He says, which players do you think will most probably get into the top 4 in the Crazyhouse World Championship that I already lost to some 2400 player? Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get to top 8, and then I think there'll be top 4 that place. At the moment, it's too hard to pick. Not the greatest answer in the world, but yeah, I think the form of the players is not really shown yet. So I think anyone in the top 16 has a chance to shine. Actually, have a think about how we're going to proceed here. I'm going to have to be aggressive. Go. I'm expecting a move like knight at f5. It's quite accurate. Yeah, no, if you're asking me about top 8, I'm going to have a look. And on this screen, I'm just going to check out on my other screen what the lineup is. Yeah, white's not really getting enough in return here. Okay, we'll grab this. My rook b8 idea may be too slow. We'll see. Oh, he's got a rook in hand now. That might change things. Well, I might just be hanging on and see how he can mate me immediately. Rook h1, fg takes knight h4. That's the dangerous one. I have to play king g1. Takes knight h4, king h3. He grabs a bishop here. Step up. I think king g1 is called for. Alright, it's just down to time now. Oh, I missed the mate. Alright, I had to. I think king g2 might have been getting mated, and king g1 may have lived. There was a very fine finesse point in there. Anyway, I was going to say, who do I think is going to get in top 8? I might read out a few names so you want to think. But it's 1 JannLee, 2 All You Need Is Lux, 3 12 Teen, 4 Master 10, 5 chickencrossroad, 6 Yuan, 7 Opalwez, and 8 E-Calf. 9 Saturos, 10 Blitzbullet, 11 Atrophy, 12 Sexy and I Know It, 13 Bonobo, 14 Penguin GIM1, 15 Bugzilla, 16 Pure Essence. A few more I'd like to read out. So that's top 16. It's followed by 17 Crosskey, 18 Mathace. Number 46, but 0 got in. Then we get to 20 Killer Key. So, yeah. How do I want to play this? I've got to avoid bishop at g5. Okay, let's be adventurous. Okay, you want me to choose top 8? Gosh. Alright, I'm gonna draw a line at Math Ace, I think. 18 and above. Yeah, I mean between Bugzilla, Math Ace and Pure Essence Krosky, I mean even between there, I'd probably be siding with Bugzilla slightly, but I know Math Ace is very capable. I'm basically trying to work out you guys who's going to win what sections of the draw. Um, so I'll put Bugzilla and Pure Essence in. I'm gonna say the top 16 get to the top 16. And then from there, so 12 team goes up against Penguins UAM. All you need is Luft goes up against Bugzilla. Like, yeah, I mean, you can look at the ratings on the rankings, but they don't tell all the story, honestly. Okay, I've got to have a look at this board for a second. So, my opponent's preventing me from just playing knight d4 with ease. And queen h5 is appropriate. I want him to put his pawn on g4 here before I play queen h3. That way if the king backs off to e2, I can take g4. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out who I reckon will make top 10. Oh, top 8, sorry. Yeah, between Saturos and Ekaf, that's not easy. So what am I going to do here? Knight at f5 looks the part. So the king h1, I got to determine if I can take the queen or if I'm getting mated. So it's pawn, I think there's a knight in hand, pawn and knight. Yeah, I think I can take it. The alternative was queen g5, which is a bit nifty, but then he has queen f3. Then I think it's a little unclear. So from here I see pawn e7 takes. And then I figure he only has one pawn in hand, so my king can run back. Okay, so he's defended. I'll take this pawn. Not much time here. Left myself very thin on time. Ah, that's terrible. Knight at f6 is bait. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking too much. Didn't leave myself enough time. All right, I'm gonna call my top 8. I think I put myself in. All you need is left. So JannLee, all you need is left. 12 team, Master 10, chickencrossroad, Juanet, Oppelwezen. No offense to Ekaf at all, he's a great player, but I'm going to pick Saturos over Ekaf. I think that'll be the final 8. from there, I think it's anyone's game. They're all very capable. I mean, from the chess.com event, you've got myself, chickencrossroad, Master 10, and Joanna that took up the top 4 places. We're all playing again, so yeah, that's my long deliberated top 8 that I think will be in there. Okay. Alright, so we started, what was it? We started at 76 for 60, so I'm tracking at 8 games to 6. Yeah, I need to lift the pace here. The games are getting decided largely on time pressure. I'm expecting a move like pawn at e4 here. Ooh, pawn at c2. I don't see what's behind pawn at c2 though. I mean, sure, if I play bishop f3, knight at h4 looks good for black, but well, I'm going to be daring and take with the king. Maybe queen d7. I mean, if knight at h4, sure, I get cut off from g2, but I'm game enough to run out this way. Okay, knight e4. Here, I think I have either the opportunity to run or... Yeah, I think it's best to bring the king back. So it's in these cases, you know, it's much better you have 2 minutes versus 40 seconds. Without taking all the time up in the opening, you reach the sharp position with more pieces in hand and more time. The bishop at h3 looks like a good, safe move. No, bishop at g3 would be bad. It would allow knight takes. Stud Miffin is asking, what does LM stand for? LM stands for Lee Chess Master. It's a title that they created on Lee Chess. This is a nice move. I've overlooked that. The idea being Queen f2 is now playable. I'm just gonna defend this knight on f5 first. Oh, Queen g2 allowed. I think I'm getting sleepy. Disappointed to lose that game, definitely. Yeah, no, LM stands for Lee Chess Master. I mean, it's not a real title. I don't think I even properly qualify for the criteria that's meant to have on Lee Chess. I think you're meant to have a certain rating, like 2400 in regular chess and a variant or something of that sort. I think I was just so high rated in Crazyhouse that they gave me an honorary title. Yeah, sorry for the very poor blundering last game, guys. I should never have lost that game, but Chicken came up with a very creative knight at e1, and I let it all slip. I mean, even after queen takes h3, I should just take the knight on e1, and there's still a game to be played. Yeah, Stud's asking how do you get LM. I don't think they're actually issuing them anymore. So I think the management of responding to the criteria and people arguing if they should have them or not, um, they ended up turning it in. So I'm not afraid to trade queens in this position. It all looks pretty secure. Right now he's trying to get knight f7 in. I'll play queen d6. If he plays rook g6 here, I have bishop h2. Here he's going to pin my queen. I can part with the queen. The idea here is just avoid getting mated at some stage, kick this knight away, and there'll be a whole raft of pieces to attack with. Ooh, queen at h5. Interesting move. Rather than take and allow an attack to brew with knight f7 potentially, I'm just declining the queen for now and defending this bishop. Yeah, even against this, I'm gonna grab this one. Okay, now he's really asking me to take the queen. I probably should take it. Clear that knight out, and now he's only got bishops in hand if he takes this. So it's not so easy to penetrate black's position when the dark squares are defended. He's going to try anyway. I'll grab this pawn. Here I should hit his queen. Yeah, maybe queen at g4 is nice here. Queen at g8, sorry. Even the rook is fine. So yeah, there's bishop d4 and I'll use a bishop to cover it. Oh, he's getting something back that way. Alright, we'll cover with the rook. I just can't play pawn to g7 because knight at f7 would mate me. Yeah, you ain't giving up easy. Alright. But I've figured out why I lose a whole lot of time in the opening sometimes. And this is important for those playing on leeches. If you start moving before the spectators establish themselves here, or at least until the interface establishes who the spectators are here, I find that it will skip and jolt a few times, and you'll lose, a good 5, 6, 7 seconds, which can really set you back. So what you can do is actually before you make your first move, you just check that all the spectators have come in first and then start moving. It's been a mystery to me for a long time now, and it's sad it's taken me that long to figure it out. But yeah, that's a nice little tip for the viewers if you're playing on leeches. Particularly if you're playing something like a 1-0 match, giving up 5 or 6 seconds each game can take its toll. I'm expecting queen b2 now. Alright. Is that the right move? Pawn g4. We'll put the pawn on d6. I think pawn at g4 just helps black move the knight there. He's got 3 attackers on d4. I've got 3 defenders on d4. So I want to threat a knight c7. Another good move. So my trouble here is knight c7 takes, and then he grabs the bishop. Rook at a8, bishop at c8. I don't have much, and then he's attacking my king. So I'm inclined to take this first. Maybe with the bishop first. So I can keep an eye on this knight so it doesn't get taken. Now play knight c7. Get that move order right, and that way the bishop isn't on e2 for him to capture. If the king moves, then I can recapture with knight d3. I pick up a tempo on the queen, and then we start looking at the dark squares more seriously. So, bit of a move order there. Maybe even here, knight d3 first before taking this rook. So you can play queen b6. That's playable. So again, here you've got 43 seconds left. It's important to start playing some of the moves quicker a bit. Not done a lot of that tonight. Oh, he's taken this pawn. No, take the queen here. Worthwhile. Play another pawn. Let's go. So queen at g8 I'm aiming for here. And also bishop g6. Queen d7 is a threat. Oh no, it's not. Blown that. Yeah, could be mated here. Not so good. Not so good at all. Got outplayed in the time scramble there. Chicken's playing really well tonight. He's playing a good game. Okay, the idea of this double knight sack line is that black picks up a couple pawns and a knight. And then from here, black tries to exploit some kind of weakness on the king, and white tries to claim that piece for the pawns is better. So it's an interesting battle from here. What comes? I think what's important is to remain dynamic. So I want to clear this square on e3 to threaten to take this knight and fork the king and queen. And doing this, I get to hit the knight with tempo. Yeah, so knight d4 covering. Makes sense to grab c3, throw a knight at e3. Okay, now I just take this. I can either take it or play bishop at g4. Taking it's just plain sensible. Oh, that's a little bit loose. That allows knight at f6. Yeah. Alright, we're calling last turn. Not entirely thrilled with how I'm playing. I think in this Crazyhouse World Championship, you're going to have to convert winning positions very well, and it's something I've not done well tonight. My idea here, knight at g4, is just to create some defense for f6. If it takes, I can recapture, and f2 is still under attack. If he takes the knight, knight at e3, and there's a fork here. So it actually just renews a threat, queen e2. So this is a nice aggressive and defensive move all at once. Okay, I'll just grab material. I'll just pick up h5. The other purpose the knight on g4 serves is that it breaks the defense there. So that's one I should probably leave alone. Just allow this to be captured, move the king across. He only has a pawn in hand. So while I can't deliver mate yet, I can just capture pieces and eventually it should play out in my favour. Yeah, I'll be nifty, I'll take this one. You can take the queen, but then rook at e1 will mate him, because it forces knight at f1, queen at f1, and then knight h3 is a double checkmate. Alright, so we'll play one more match, and then, yeah, it's already 1 AM here. I need to get to sleep. I've got an early start tomorrow. And have a go at some tennis. Yeah, let's take this one. Play something a little different. Alright, so I'm sacrificing a piece here for some attack. Could potentially be a good one, could potentially be premature. Right now g5 is under threat. I'm going to seek to cover it with h4. And then pawn at e3 becomes an issue for me. So it's not all bright and rosy here. Okay, we'll play h4. I'm expecting pawn at e3 to come in. Pawn at e3 played. I have half a mind to let this one go, actually. Maybe instead I should castle first. Oh, able to castle. There we go. It's got a bit of lag. If I have a pawn and knight in hand, I can make threats. But yeah, this is poorly executed because you can just play bishop at e3. I'm looking fairly lost here. He's basically taken my extra piece and then he's not giving anything back. Now pawn at g3 falls. Yeah, this is looking pretty close to resignable. I am going to resign this. So there you have it. Let's see what the final score was. We started at 76 to 60. I picked up 10. I lost 9. So a very close match, 10 to 9. Chicken's asking if we want to bug. So yeah, Chicken Crossroad and I have been producing a few Bughouse videos. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll get to do a bit more this weekend. It's been really fun. I'm absolutely just buggered and tired. Probably shouldn't be playing this late. So yeah, Chicken's saying we'll get some Bughouse going. So yeah, maybe Saturday 6 p.m. GMT. We'll get some Bughouse going. We'll either do Fix or we'll do chess.com. We'll see how it goes. If we can get 4 players with mics and we can get Skype going between them, then maybe it'll be chess.com. I will probably just record that, not live stream it, only because it creates some lag. So it's been much better just recording it and posting the videos later onto YouTube. So yeah, thanks for joining tonight's stream. Weekend's just around the corner. I'm settling in. I'm in Australia already. We're just 1 a.m. into Saturday. I'm gonna go to bed and get up for tennis tomorrow in the morning. So hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Take care.